This one is called The Kind of Friend Who Would Help You Hide His Body. The next shovelful of loose brown dirt spilled over his twisted neck, his jawline, and covered one ear completely. His eyes stared out at nothing in the hole that was too shallow and uneven to be a proper grave, but was enough to cover his body for now if they hurried. Brittany paused with her empty shovel raised over his head as she thought about everything that had happened over the last few hours, everything planned and unplanned. The day had started out so ordinary, depressing but ordinary. In the interval, Alexandra managed to dump 2 more shovels of dirt over the lower portions of his body. The dirt spread out as it landed with clothy slaps. It reminded her of the wind against sails. She only knew that sound because of him. Some of it cascaded into the pockets of his slacks or stuck to the muddy swatches around the wet spots at his groin. He would have never sat still and quiet getting his pants dirty like that in life. It wasn't up to him anymore, though. Brittany finally turned away and stabbed the spade of her shovel into the uneven pile of unearthed dirt between her and Alexandra. It wasn't bad the entire time, Alex. Alexandra poked out her lower lip and blew a couple strands of sweaty hair out of her eyes. Before she answered, she took a moment to break up the heavier clods of dark clay in the dirt pile. Whatever you say, Britt, but obviously it was bad enough. Brittany couldn't help but laugh at that. It was a tired coughing noise, but Alex could still make her laugh even on a day like this. She swung the next hefty shovelful over his head and paused again before she turned the load over. Most of it missed his head, but several crumbs covered his face, the odd shape of his pale lips all puffy and stuck to his teeth at one corner and sprinkled all through his hair. She supposed they needed to fill the entire hole, so it wasn't exactly a miss. I'm just saying all relationships are complicated. Alex dropped a few loose pieces of clay around his thighs. It sort of made him look like he had a filthy accident. She supposed this was indeed one hell of an accident. I don't know why you're still trying to talk him up at this point, Britt. I'm not. I don't know. I'm still trying to get my head around everything. Britt turned away from his slowly filling grave to shrink the dirt pile by another shovelful more. Did he always wear a cardigan like that? Not even ironically, like it's literally how he wore it. Britt took another look with her shovel still speared in the dirt. His light blue sweater was tied around his neck like a cape. He wore it that way when he played tennis, just like his father did. She always kind of hated it, but that had nothing to do with why she killed him, she didn't think. The knot of the sleeve had pulled taut at his neck during the surprisingly brief struggle. He was an okay tennis player, but was worthless in any fight where his victim decided to defend herself. Worthless. Britt showed her teeth as she wrestled away some more dirt. It does make him look like a real asshole, doesn't it? He was a real asshole. Britt said there was blood on the sweater. That's why I decided to leave it on him and bury him with it. Yeah, that's probably smart. Both young women poured in more dirt at the same time. Whether consciously or not, they both piled it over that fuzzy sweater. Thank you for helping me with this, Alex. I didn't know who to call. Alex gave a little chuckle as they attacked the diminishing dirt again. So I'm your bury a body friend, huh? I don't know. I guess you are now. I just thought of you, and you were the first and only person I thought to call. I'm actually kind of flattered by that, Alex said, but I'm hoping this won't be a regular thing. Very funny. Let's just finish this up. I'm exhausted. They filled the hole in unison again. Alex focused on burying his crotch. Britt decided she had seen enough of his face for a lifetime and set about covering it over for good. As they continued the back-breaking work of covering up a murder, the women drew ragged, heavy breaths from their efforts. He mostly just yelled at me. He only tried to hit me a few times. He never really connected in the past. Alex sighed and continued her work beside her friend. Again, I'm not sure why you're telling me this. I just don't want you to think that I let him mistreat me that way for a long time. I don't want to be seen as a victim. Britt, we're burying him. I think he had it coming. I'm not going to lose any sleep that Tylenol can't fix. Clearly, you're not the victim today. I don't like to think of myself as a killer either. I guess I am, though. Alex didn't answer at first, but finally said all he had to do was leave you alone, and he'd still be alive. This is his doing. We're just going to make sure that none of this comes back on you. He doesn't deserve to hurt you any longer, especially in death. They'll think it was me, though. Even if they don't find the body right away, they'll think I was involved. No one knew we had broken up yet. Even if they did, they'd still come to me when they noticed he's missing. Should I report it? I wouldn't. Alex went for more dirt. Britt leaned on her shovel a moment longer. They'll want to know why I didn't call. You can just say that he sometimes stopped calling or coming to see you for days or weeks at a time. Often he didn't answer his phone. That's truth, right? I definitely wouldn't mention the breakup if they ever do ask you. Sure, but all that'll make our relationship sound troubled. It'll make me more of a suspect. Everyone knew your relationship was troubled, Britt. They'll just be surprised it was him that disappeared instead of you. Her mouth dropped open a little as she watched her friend continue burying the body. You guys thought he was going to kill me? Alex shrugged and then winced. He seemed the type. Britt returned to the work. His face and most of his hair was covered. She decided she didn't like that twist in his neck and started covering that next. Alex paused and then placed an open palm over Britt's shovel to still her as well. What is it? Shh, listen. They did. Voices drew closer and then footsteps. Alex squatted down behind what remained of the dirt pile. Britt joined her. She started to wish there was more of the dirt remaining. A group of 4 came into view in the distance beyond the trees. Britt narrowed her eyes. Is that who I think it is? Shh, just stay quiet. The 2 females and 2 males paused as if they might have smelled something or felt some sort of psychic disturbance. If they turned just right, they could spy the scene. Maybe they would notice something was amiss, maybe not. They might even see the poorly hidden women. The 4 of them continued on and out of sight instead. What are they doing here? Alex whispered. There's hiking trails, but not back here. Nowhere near here. No way they came here before. No way. What are they doing out here, Alex? Out here now, Alex. Alex finally stood back up straight, holding her back. Britt stayed in a crouch. Alex said, I don't know, but we can't stop now. We can. We can leave before we're seen. Alex stared a moment as if considering it. No, we need to finish. The longer he goes unfound, the better. I just don't get it. Casey hates hiking anyway. Why today? Why all of them? Just coincidence. Don't read any more into it than that. Come on, let's hurry. Britt stood again and kept her eyes set upon the distance where the 4 had vanished, and she tried to shovel quietly, as if such a thing were possible. Time dragged and dragged along. What could be worse than being spotted during burying your dead boyfriend by a group of your friends? She supposed having strangers catch you in the act wouldn't be much better. So that really was Casey? Alex said. Yes, her and Allison, and that looked like Derek too. Who was the other guy? Someone Allison is seeing from work. She brought him to that party at the lake, remember? It was the one where he threw Kool-Aid on me for bumping him. Britt motioned toward the hole as if Alex would not recall who threw the Kool-Aid. Not Allison's guy, I mean him. I remember what happened. I don't know Allison's guy's name, though. I can't remember either. Britt focused her efforts on covering his body, even though there was still a ton of hole to fill all around him. So is Casey with Derek? No, I don't think so. I think he just tags along with him. Does he want to date her? Britt shrugged and a knot of muscle between her shoulders tightened. Every guy wants something, I guess. Brittany, Alexandra, what are you guys doing? Both women froze in place as they stared at Casey just a few feet away. She had come from the opposite direction from where the 4 had been seen earlier. It felt like not nearly enough time for her to circle around to the other side of where they were digging. Britt looked back and forth. What are you doing over here? I thought you were hiking with Allison and the guys over there. Casey narrowed her eyes. Allison's guy brought us here to see some property his dad is buying. That sounds like a weird trip, Alex said. It is kind of weird. Casey looked at the shovels the other women held and the hole that she couldn't quite see into from down the slope where she stood. What's his name anyway? Britt asked. Casey's mouth twisted up and she said, I don't remember, and it's been too long to ask again. I hate that, Britt said. She thought her voice was quivering. It felt like it was shaking to her anyway. Me too. Me too. Casey took a step closer. Seriously, what are you two doing out here on this property? Are the others nearby? Alex asked. What are you doing by yourself, Casey? I had to get away from Derek. He's being weird. I think he likes me, and I don't know how to let him down easy. Did he follow you? Alex stepped around the dirt pile, holding her shovel down by her side. I hope not. I'm going to have to go back sometime. Seriously, what are you two... Are you burying a body? Casey stepped up to the edge of the hole and stared down at the feet, and one hand still visible. He was trying to hurt me. I had no choice, Britt said. Casey swallowed a few times. You killed him? It happened fast. I called Alex to help me deal with it. This isn't her fault. She had nothing to do with it, okay? Is that who I think it is? Please, Casey. Alex raised the shovel over her head as Casey bent over the hole. Britt's eyes went wide, but she made no move to stop what was about to happen. Everything about her in this day felt so very heavy, it weighed her down, slowly crushing her. Casey stood back up straight. You need to hurry before the others come back. I might be able to keep them away, but it'll probably be better if I help. Do you have a third shovel? Alex lowered her shovel. Are you serious? We're friends. He was terrible to you, Brittany. I'm not surprised this happened. I'm just glad it wasn't you. Told you, Alex said. Seriously, we need to hurry. Casey waved her hands at the other two. Take Britt's shovel, Casey. She could use a break. Casey reached out and Britt handed it over. I did my share. We need to move faster. Alex went back to work and Casey joined her. Thank you, guys, Britt said. She bent over and held her knees, trying to catch her breath. Catch her breath back, either from exertion, fear, or both. The work continued for a few minutes. Britt whispered, Alex, Casey, there's someone... There you are, Derek said as he emerged from the same thicket Casey had come from. I thought you were lost. Hey, Alex, Brittany, what are you two doing out here? Do you know... Wait. What are you guys digging up? This isn't your land. Whatever is out here belongs to... Casey swung hard and obliterated one of Derek's eyes as she sliced through his orbital lobe with the edge of Britt's shovel. He covered his face with both hands and started to cry out as he staggered. Alex cut off the noise with a careful jab between his forearms into the soft base of his throat with the tip of her shovel, turning the start of a scream into nothing more than a gagging choke. Derek fell to his knees on the edge of the hole. Some of the dirt, still clinging there, crumbled down the rough walls. His entire body heaved for air that seemed unwilling to enter his lungs. The women exchanged looks over the top of him. There was no clear communication that Britt picked up on. She only saw her own fear and confusion reflected back at her on their faces. Alex took the next hard swing, slicing deep into the back of his head. The impact was loud and wet. Derek silenced and toppled over into the hole. His weight imprinted face down in the loose dirt, making it appear that much of their labor had been undone. His sneakers remained on the edge. Britt took a step to push the feet off into the hole, but his legs slid the rest of the way into the grave on their own. Derek started to convulse. There was a muffled clicking in the back of his throat. Britt had a disconnected thought that he was smothering in the dirt and they needed to roll him over. Casey lifted the shovel and drove it down into the back of Derek's head over and over until it split open, and he finally fell still in the puddle of his brains. Britt's stomach tightened up harder than her shoulder. She turned away and breathed slowly through her nose. Her thoughts now went to the idea that she shouldn't throw up or the police might identify her from it. She wasn't sure that was true, but she realized she was starting to think like a killer as the bodies piled up in the hole. The urgency of the need to eject her stomach contents finally passed. Casey still heaved for breath and huffed out, "We have to hurry." They started raking the dirt into the hole that now held two bodies. Britt dropped to her knees and used her hands and then her feet to shove the dirt over the side. Derek covered up faster than the first guy had. Extra hands make light work, Britt thought. They had almost filled the double grave to the top when voices approached. The three of them laid down flat at the edge of the thicket and stared across at Allison and her guy in the distance. "Casey," she called. "Derek," he called after. "It's time to go," Allison yelled. "It's time to go," Allison yelled again. "They think I'm out having sex with them, I bet," Casey whispered. "Gross." Allison and the guy started down the trail away from the scene. "Over here," Casey yelled. She started to get up, but Alex grabbed her shoulder. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I can't let them leave, Casey said. I'll have to show back up on campus sometime, and Derek will turn up missing. They'll know I had something to do with it. So what are you going to do exactly? Britt asked. We need to see where they are on all this, Casey said. His dad is buying this land. I'm not sure he'll be cool with it. I'm not sure Allison will be able to let it go either. So then what? Alex asked. Casey, Allison shouted from the top of the hill. Where are you? Down here. Casey stepped out of the thicket and waved. She then lowered her voice. No one saw me come with you. We might need to dig another hole, I think. Alex looked at Britt and said, maybe you should have called Casey instead. Britt shrugged and felt the day's labor. Britt shrugged and felt the day's labor through all her muscles down her back. This is getting away from us. I'm glad she didn't take the shovel with her. Casey joined the couple at the top of the hill. They spoke too quiet to hear from the burial site, and the three of them walked away. What do we do? Brittany asked. What does this mean? I don't know. We need to finish this and get the hell out of here. With two bodies in the hole, it filled back up before the dirt pile was done. They proceeded to spread the rest of the dirt around the area. Alex's phone rang in her pocket. Shit. She wrestled it out of her tight jeans and stared at it a moment. Britt looked up the hill and back at Alex, holding the still ringing phone. Turn that damn thing off before someone hears us. It's Allison, though. What? Allison. Allison is calling me. What? Why? I don't know. Don't answer it. I have to. Why, Alex? Because if she's calling, it might have something to do with Casey, what Casey said to them. I don't know, Alex. This feels like a time to let it go to voicemail. But Alex answered. The voice on the other end was loud and frantic, but unintelligible. Whoa, hold on. Alex looked at Britt with eyes wide. Britt shook her head and held up both hands. Alex hit the speakerphone option and said, Repeat that, Allison. What did you say? Casey tried to fucking kill me. Allison's... Oh, man, did I misspell this? I sure did. I'm going to have to fix that anyway. Put one L in Allison, and now I have to re-upload the story. All right, Allison's tinny voice cried out from the phone. She killed Peter. Oh, God, she caved his head in. Oh, God. We got into a fight, and she hit her head. She's not breathing. They're both dead. I'm out here alone with two fucking dead people. Alex, help me. Britt glanced at the fresh turned dirt all around them and back at the phone. Holy shit, Alex said as she looked at Britt. Britt whispered, Peter. Right, that's his name. I knew that. Who is that? Allison asked from the phone. Do you have me on speaker? Don't be crazy, Alex said as she held a finger up over her lips to signal for Britt to stay quiet. You know how reception is at the dorms. Casey tried to kill you. She's dead. And Peter's dead? Allison was crying now. She acted all crazy, wouldn't tell us where Derek was. When Peter tried to walk back to look for him, she hit him with a rock, bashed his brains in. I can see inside his head. Oh, Christ, Alex. Then she came for me. I had no choice. She fell. I didn't kill her, okay? But they're both dead, and I'm out here alone. I'm out at the old Dexter Farm property off of Route 14. It's just past the old abandoned arcade with the faded clown faces painted on the side we always make fun of. It's the for sale sign just past there where we're parked. Alex, do you hear me? Do you know where I'm talking about? Alex? I know the place. I think I know the place. Alex looked at Britt and mouthed, What the fuck? I don't know what to do. Help me, please. Call the police, Alex said. Britt shook her head. Alex held up a halting hand at Britt. I can't. This will ruin my life. It's Casey's fault, what she did to Peter. Whatever might have happened to Derek. It's all her fault. Britt slapped her forehead and gave 2 thumbs up to Alex. Alex smiled and nodded. No, I need you to help me, Alex, please. Help you do what? I need to get out of here. Who knows? No one knows I came with Peter. I can say that he came out here with Casey and Derek without me. No, I can say he went somewhere, like I didn't know where exactly. I just didn't go with him, you know? Derek might not tell the same story if he's still alive. Allison. Allison started crying again. Just call the police. They'll see what really happened. Alex repeated, You'll be fine. No, I'm not letting this bitch ruin my life. I have a future. I won't be the person people stare at. Jesus, Alex said. I didn't know who else to call. You need to hurry. Get out here as fast as you can. Pick me up so it doesn't look like I was ever here. If Derek is still alive, we can blame it on him. If not, then it will look like Casey or Peter did it. People will still talk about me, I guess, but it won't be as bad as if I wasn't ever here. Alex took a deep breath and said, okay, I'll get there as fast as I can. She hung up. Britt held up her shovel. Holy shit, Alex, what now? Alex said, we need to get the shovels out of here. We need to clean ourselves up, clean up ourselves and our clothes. I need to get you back to campus, and then I come pick up Allison. Why the hell am I the one everyone thinks to call to cover up murders? Do I give off some kind of vibe or something? How long is all this going to take? We better go now. They turned and made their way back through the woods toward the car. Alex muttered, I need to figure out how to be an alibi for both of you. Jesus, you guys are going to be the death of me, I think. Many hands, Britt said. What? Alex didn't look up at her. It's many hands make light work, not extra hands. I've been saying it wrong. Never mind. Allison texted, please hurry. Don't tell anyone where you're going. Alex set her phone to silence and slid it back into her pocket as they reached her car on the nearby dirt road.